Adrian Gottschalk, CEO of Foghorn Therapeutics, joins us in the Flagship studio this afternoon to tell us about some really exciting developments with that company. Adrian, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So 2024 was a pretty big year for you, notably moving into the clinic with FHD 909, potential first-in-class selective inhibitor of SMARCA2 in lung cancer with your partner Lilly. Tell us a little bit about the company since we last heard from you about a year ago, and some of the upcoming milestones.
Certainly. So we've actually made tremendous progress over the course of 2024 and are very excited about what that portends for 2025. So top of the list, as you just mentioned, is FHD 909. This is a selective inhibitor of SMARCA2, which has long been a target that the industry at large has tried to drug. This is obviously partnered with our wonderful partners at Lilly, and they are executing on a clinical study. So that kicked off in October of last year, and the study's enrolling super well. We're very excited by the prospects of being able to make a difference with patients in predominantly non-small cell lung cancer, but there's actually other mutations that occur in other histologies that are going to be relevant. So this is a program that we partnered back in December of 2021, actually, along with a few other targets. This was the deal that we did with Lilly at the time. It was a $380 million deal, $300 million in cash, $80 million equity at the time. I think it's still, to date, the largest preclinical oncology deal that has been done in the industry. And I think that speaks to a couple of different things that we're really proud of with the company, which is the validation of this biology and the importance of what role it can play in oncology, but also the progress that we've been able to make. And as I like to say, imagine what this could be worth once this is actually, further in the clinic and eventually comes to market. So we're really excited by what is going on with 909. I think the other things that we've been highlighting here at JP Morgan, it's another first of its kind actually, is selective degradation of a target called ARID1B. This is in the domain of synthetic lethality, which is a concept in cancer where you see a mutation in one gene that creates an Achilles heel, if you will, or a dependency on another gene. In this case, ARID1A is mutated, causing a dependency on ARID1B. Another target that could be equally as large, if not actually larger, than the SMARCA2 program we partnered with Lilly. And we announced this week that we've been able to selectively degrade that protein. That's going to be of significant interest, we believe, to investors, as we've been having conversations this week, and we know it's also of interest to several strategic partners. So really excited by that progress. And then lastly, just to hit another highlight in terms of the company, really great progress with two other proprietary programs, CBP, EP300, another set of synthetic lethal targets, where we've announced some really nice progress through our investor presentations, degradation, and also expansion of the types of diseases we can go into. So we're excited by the progress that we've made over the course of 24, and I think we're set up for a really interesting year in 25 as we get potentially towards data with the 909 program over the course of the next 12 to 18 months, as well as the programs that are moving forward towards IND.
It's really neat. You talked a little bit about targets that are known to contribute to cancer, that have been known to the industry for some time, that might have been out there and known and wanted to tackle that, but couldn't. They were challenging for one reason or another, but you've been able to demonstrate some progress there. To what do you attribute that ability, that capability?
Yeah, this really goes back to the inception of the company as it was envisaged by both Flagship and sort of our founder, and sort of what we've built on over the course of now what's been 8 years, which is the ability to go after this chromatin regulatory system, which is a simple version of regulating gene expression. I always use the analogy of an architect and a blueprint, the blueprint being the gene, the architect being the set of biology, which, again, if the architect puts the toilet in the middle of the kitchen, that's not a good thing. You can use your own imagination there. Same thing, this biology can go awry, and it can create all sorts of havoc in terms of which genes are expressed in which cells and in what time frame. That's effectively what continues to drive or allow the cancer cells to proliferate. So what we've then built upon, and the idea behind the company, was to build a platform that could systematically, in a scalable and repeatable way, continue to look for these important targets in this biology and actually find a way to drug things that, quite frankly, our colleagues in biopharma and large biopharma have been unsuccessful in doing. This comes down to really deep mechanistic insight into the biology. It comes down to exquisite capabilities that we've built over the years in protein production, protein purification, and the various assays that we've put around that, be it biochemical, functional, or structural in nature. And then lastly, obviously, we need some therapeutic. We're a small molecule-based company, and this is where we've built a really exquisite chemical-based platform doing what I consider sort of good old-fashioned enzyme inhibition, but more recently and more frequently protein degradation, which has become a much, much bigger part, frankly, of our story, in an area that I personally would put us head-to-head against any pure-play degrader company. And that's evidenced, again, by the progress we've made, not only on SMARCA2, there's both an inhibitor and degrader there. 909's an inhibitor, but there's a degrader that's making nice progress with Lilly. We've got CBP, EP300, and now ARID, and that platform is really expanding. There's a lot of really cool science that I think is going to open up even more areas for us to go after, and we've been having some of those conversations already here at JP Morgan.
Great. So you talked about an expertise, deep expertise in chromatin biology as being the foundation. That's a biology that's implicated in 50% of all cancers, so potentially massive opportunity. You've also described a little bit what you've been sharing with me already, a lot of different modalities, whether that's inhibitors, degraders, or transcription factor disruption. So what are there components of the the Foghorn story that are underappreciated, that you feel haven't been recognized outside of the four walls of Foghorn?
I think that because we focus so much on the biology, which in my opinion is a really good place to start, because it starts always with the biology, and in my opinion also with the genetics. But the degrader part of our platform, I think, is probably underappreciated in the broader context. Specifically, we're now doing some interesting things with a novel ligase called UBR5. This is something that, again, to our knowledge, nobody else has been able to go after and utilize. We've actually done some really interesting genetic work demonstrating we can drug degrade two transcription factors, and we're in the process of finding chemical tools that will allow us then to go after a whole range of transcription factors and probably apply that to other proteins in a different way. The field of induced proximity, which is a fancy way of saying bringing two proteins together with some chemistry, is really fascinating to us. This is another area of our platform that I think is underappreciated as we're starting to get going there. This could result in what we consider to be deubiquitinases, where we're actually preventing a protein from being destroyed by the cell's rubbish bin, for lack of a technical term. That could stabilize a whole host of proteins. Again, you could increase levels of tumor suppressors in cells, but it's not just limited to cancer. So there's a whole range of things that we've built, and this is the beauty of a platform, in my opinion, is that you start off in one place, and as you grow and you learn on the science, it leads you into a whole lot of different directions. So what's exciting to me, even after about 7.5 years with the company, is in some ways everything still is new, and there's a lot of new areas we can go into. But I think the proof, if you will, is in the pudding, or in this case, the pipeline of really difficult targets, whether it's SMARCA2, CBP, EP300, ARID1B, some others that we can't name for confidentiality purposes. We've been able to do this, as I like to say to investors, not once, not twice, not thrice, but multiple times now. And I think that demonstrates the power of our platform and the beauty of sort of thinking big as we go after this science.
So a repeatability to it now that you are 9 years into this journey, and it sounds very much like a pipeline and a platform, which is very exciting to see the maturity of this science reaching patients now. We're getting close.
Absolutely. I mean, we're dosing patients. Again, I can't comment on the ongoing study, but really excited by that. And I should mention, we're excited by some preclinical combination data that's going to be coming out at AACR. We mentioned that in a press release earlier this week, where 909 has been combined with pembrolizumab, which is an immune checkpoint inhibitor, with a KRAS inhibitor, which is also used in non-small cell lung, and obviously chemotherapy. And so we're really excited for Lilly to put that data out at AACR, which will be at the very end of April.
Yeah.
And that will have implications for how the drug is developed clinically as well. So the name of the game here, obviously, is trying to get medicines to people who are suffering from cancer and other diseases. And as I always tell myself, if we're helping at least one person, we're making a difference. I think we're going to help thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people with what we're doing. So really excited by it.
Really exciting. That's Adrian Gottschalk of Foghorn Therapeutics here to tell us about the progress from 24 and heading into a very exciting 2025. Thank you, Adrian.
Thanks for having me.